Hey guys, welcome back to another match reaction. I was meant to upload another video after the preview, but I'm still trying to edit that bit out, so that should come out sometime this week. But yeah, Arsenal won, Crystal Palace nil. Performance wise, like I said this in the first match reaction I done, the second one, the third one. There's no point even trying to repeat myself, but it's going to be very difficult not to look. He's 7 years in, so this is a kind of like a final iteration of his play style. Like he's gone so far away from what he had in the first season where we were challenged for the title to what we have now. So just off of that, we shouldn't really expect Arteta to have Arsenal playing in a very fluid attacking style. Nonetheless, the game, the first half, thank God as they scored, because that first half was dross. Like when I say dross, like the normal dross for Arsenal is we're probing, and we're not getting much. Today's dross was like we had no shots on target, the ball just moving side to side. Palace were looking threatening or dangerous at certain areas, but they didn't really challenge the keeper for us as much. So it's very difficult to kind of give them credit for that. I kind of said in the preview, Palace are not an easy team to be, and you can see why. That mid to low block that they set up, three at the back, and have Mitchell and I forgot who's that right back is. I think Munoz or something, kind of defending those wide areas. It's difficult to kind of break them down, and I can sympathize with that a lot. But today wasn't just that. Today was, honestly, guys, yeah, we won, and that's great. Set piece again, kind of a half set piece. My worry is, and it will be a worry, is that from open play we struggle. We struggle to break teams down from open play. Like we genuinely cannot create anything meaningful from open play. Like the only bit that I can remember from the first half was the Trossard chance from the breakaway, and apart from that, that was it. That I can't really say much about the defense. Like the defense, what did we do in the first half? Like we didn't do much. There was actually, now saying that, there was actually that one bit where the ball went over, and I always say Saliba aerially is suspect on the floor. If you play the ball along the floor, right, or along across the line, he sweeps that up. Once that ball is traveling up in the air, and he's having time to just kind of go over and look and look and look. He got the better of Mateta, and then for some reason he got comfortable. He thought Mateta just kind of gave up on that ball, and he almost we almost conceded from that because he just got way too comfortable when that ball went over him. But thankfully, he recovered. I can't remember who cleared that off because it was a bit mixed from the actual general play. But yeah, if we go from, let's have a look at some of the players. Ooh, yeah, I say the back four didn't do really much. I thought Timber, I like Timber. Defensively, he's good. On the ball, he's very solid. Attacking wise, is always going to be his weak point, but his general play today wasn't too bad. He tried to do a little bit of something. Yeah, I can see he was inverting a lot more than he usually does. And yeah, he didn't really have a foot wrong. Zubamendi, it's interesting with Zubamendi because he's coming to replace Party, and I always look at this, right. When we took Party out of this squad last season in some of the games, we looked like a completely different team. Like our build up wasn't really there when you take Party out because we lose so much when Party came off. The physicality, the awareness to play passes, and also Party is he's a mixture of both. He's very passive, but he can, probe that ball forward when he has to, and he's a lot more aggressive when it comes to attacking. Zubamendi, on the other hand, he's more of someone that would just keep the ball ticking. He's someone that would just move it side to side, stop the play. There was a time when he was holding on to, I think it was Adam Wharton for too long, and he almost trying to bring him down a little bit. He's that kind of player. He's got that bit of dog about him, but he's not an attacking player in the sense that a lot of the passes that he's gonna make is not going to be forward. A lot of them will be side to side. A lot of it he'll be passed, even when it is forward, he'll be passing to a player where the likely pass option for that player receiving the ball will be back to Zubimendi, so then he can keep the ball ticking. And hence why I said in the first review and the second review, having Zubimendi and Rice in that midfield is too neutral, and it's too passive in the sense that both of those two players are not attacking personnels. Of course, the whole issue with us building up isn't also necessarily the personnel, but it's also the manager as well. We have a very safe defensive manager, so if you look at the attacking depth we have, you shouldn't really be surprised in terms of what we're getting out of them, because his whole philosophy is to be secure on the ball, and being an attacking manager, there needs to be that element of risk that you need to take. And with someone like him, he's not willing, but his first kind of train of thought isn't to be that much of an attacking manager. And you kind of see that resemble not only on the way we play, but also kind of the players that we bring on, even when we're 1-0 up. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, cool. You want to preserve the goal, but you also want to make sure Palace respect what we have going the other way. So when you're bringing on Marino, Hincapié, and who else did he bring? He brought on Martinelli. But when you have someone like Ethan on the bench, I would like to know what this manager has on Ethan, or what Ethan has on this manager, because he can't catch a break. Like, honestly, I think it's gonna come to a point where either he goes out on loan, or there'll be murmurs starting January, probably leading on to the summer, of a potential move for Ethan, because for a player of his quality, he should be getting a lot more minutes than what we're seeing. And a lot of that is due to the fact that, he's not willing to speculate. When we look at managers, there's this element of speculate to accumulate. The idea of a manager winning this league, there has to be that element of risk involved. You're 1-0 up, cool, I understand that. So there's someone like Marino should come off someone like Zubimendi, because they're very similar type of players. Okay, Marino's is a bit less mobile. Cool. I personally don't want to see Marino in that midfield. But if you brought on Marino and Ethan, I could be like, okay, cool. And then Eze and Rice come off, or Eze and Zubimendi come off. I can slightly kind of see the tweak. He's trying to be more passive, but also ensuring that we don't lose much going the other way. He brought on Martinelli and took off Saka, and then Trossard was on the other side. It's kind of counterbalances, because now we don't have that balance going, not only in the front three, but also in the three behind them as well. Because now you have Martinelli, who's only going to go one way, which is on the outside if you play him on the right side. And then Trossard, on the other hand, can only go one way. I know he does sometimes go on the outside. He likes to come on the inside. And I actually thought he had a very good game nonetheless. But for someone like Martinelli, I like Martinelli. But there's also that element you need to add to your substitutions, in terms of it needs to be attacking changes. Every time I see Martinelli come on, I always have this kind of mindset of that. Every time he comes on, it's always a defensive substitution, because he's very good at recovering the ball, but going the other way, it's a bit of a hit or miss. I know he's had a couple of good games, but having him going the other way is not attacking. So we lose that element when we take Saka off and then not bring on. Even Ethan could come on. I know there was talks in the summer where he's going to be transitioning to a midfielder, and we're not seeing him in that inside 10. So I'm not sure where he has a place in this team. But yeah, we were talking about Zubimendi, we kind of drifted a bit. But yeah, he had a quiet game. the whole philosophy within Arsenal is very slow, and it's only a matter of time when these set pieces start to dry up, and then when that happens, where's that element that we need to have in order to get us over the line? Are we gonna be a lot more attacking? And when does that set piece dry out? Because it could dry out the next game. The next game could be the start of our set pieces starting to slow down a little bit. So, we need to now start to look at this and think, yeah, cool, we're 7 or 8 points clear at the top. That's very good, and I'm happy with that. But the set piece thing is worrying me in the sense that it's the only way we're scoring. Our build up and our open play goals is non-existent. I can't remember the last time we scored an open play in the Premier League. Gyökeres had a decent game compared to what he normally has. I actually thought his build-up play and his actually hold-up wasn't as bad. I just feel like every time the ball gets to him, I always just feel like he's just that little bit, that yard away from it every time. Like every time the ball goes across to him or over the top, I always just feel like he's just that bit slow. I don't know whether it's the pass is under hit or the pass is over hit, or he's just not at that physical capacity yet to be able to get at the end of these opportunities. There was that ball, I think in the first half, Zubimendi pinged it over the top and it looked like a very good chance, but then his touch is what completely messed it up, because your touch essentially completely eliminated that chance away, and he had to kind of recycle the ball again. He had actually, I think yeah, apart from that, I can't remember any other chances he had where it was clear cut. But yeah, he had a okay game in terms of his actual build up. He got a lot more involved from the play. But yeah, second half we were a lot better. But apart from that, we didn't really create much. There was that bits of chances in the second half where the ball there was a cross or corner, I can't remember, hits the crossbar, and then Rash takes a second shot and he saves it. And apart from that, we just don't really have much. And it's a great victory, and it's especially a great victory because I said in the preview, this is a game where there's going to be potential slip-ups. Brentford beating Liverpool, great, good news for us. City losing to Villa, great, good news for us. So we've gained something here by winning. So that's the positive when we're looking at this. But the downsides to this is our set plays is becoming an overkill, in the sense that there's going to be a time where it balances out. The league is a marathon, so we're ahead now, but it's about staying ahead, getting victories, playing well, you build up that confidence, but also getting victories when you're against, the run of play. There were, towards the end of the game, Palace was starting to probe us a little bit. Just that final bit for them was the ultimate killer for them. But all in all, it was a shit performance, but a good victory in the end, because we've gained 2 or 3 points from City and Liverpool dropping points. And what we want to have for us this season is what kind of happened last season, where Arsenal are just pulling and pulling and pulling away, whilst the other teams, City, Liverpool, and it's starting to look like even United are coming into it as well. We want them to kind of start dropping off, like having inconsistent results. We can rely on Man United to have that because that's who they are. But Liverpool and City, they're playing each other, so there's going to be that opportunity for them to drop points. And then, hopefully there's going to be games after that where they start to drop points even more. And then we just start to crawl back or have inconsistent results. So they're winning, losing. And we kind of want to start to see that happen. So, yeah, great victory. I'm happy with that. And on to the next, really. Yeah, not really sure what's happening with Ethan. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that's picking this up, but this kid cannot catch a minute on the pitch. Like, even Skelly came on, and for a second, when Skelly came on for Eze, I was like, surely he's not going in that right 10 instead of Ethan. And he went on to that left back position, so we kind of went to like a three at the back towards the end, and just to shore it up. So Yeah, I thought for a second, but yeah, surely let me know because I might be the only one, but Ethan not starting on a regular basis is a concern for me because he's a player with an abundance of quality and he's someone that should be on this Arsenal team because he came through with Skelly and they both showed a lot of promise. And how he doesn't get a game in comparison to Skelly, who I think they're both equally as good as each other, is a massive concern for me because when you're seeing Mikel Merino come on, who for me should only be coming on instead of Gyökeres, you're starting to kind of think, is there something that's happening behind closed doors that we don't know? Why does he not favour Ethan as much? Is it because he doesn't track back? Is he too much of a risk taker? Because we know this is the sort of manager he is. Like, who knows? But anyways, yeah, this football will only be acceptable towards the end of the season if we lift something. If this football doesn't account to anything towards May, if I'm not seeing Arsenal lift either the Premier League or the Champs, then you know how I stand. It'll be time for him to pack. But apart from that, great performance. No, hey, great performance. Fuck it now. Great result. Not so much of a great performance, but yeah, we keep on moving. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.